everybody. Welcome to the Watch Pals. My name's Chris. This week we watched 2017's film, The Great Wall. I guess depending on what country you were in, it was either 2016 or 2017. Either way, before we get into that, I want to introduce the panel of pals, starting with Jordan. Jordan, welcome aboard. Thank you for being here.
Hello, Jeff. Hello, Brian.
Oh.
Hello.
Oh.
Hi.
Shame on you, Chris, for this movie.
Wow.
Oh my
shame.
God.
Whoa.
Wow.
1,000 shames.
1,000 shames upon
Hi,
your
Chris.
house.
Always nice to talk to you and see your face.
Thank you. Thank you for being here. Jeff, thank you for being here today.
Hey.
Freely.
And Brian, thank you for being here.
I'm here and I'm thankful for it. Thank you.
Well, thank you for being thankful, and thank you for all for being here.
Thanks.
I picked The Great Wall this week, the 2016 or 2017 movie, depending on what country you're in. It was different release years.
Wow, he's really hanging on that.
Yeah.
And we're gonna talk about that movie this week. I'm gonna handle the recap, but at first, before we get into that, I want to tell you why I picked this movie, which was, as I explained in the last episode, one of the reasons is I like alternative history movies in that they kind of twist it, where they write there's something in historical, and then they put a twist on it. You know, in this case, the movie was the Great Wall, and the reason why they built it is because of these monsters, and as we'll get into in the movie. But other things that have done this in the past, other medias like Hellboy, I really like Hellboy, and they do this a lot, where they take historical events or historical figures and they twist them and turn them into monsters, or the reason why they're doing this is because this other kind of, I don't know if that really said something about me and like what would you think, like alternative views of society, or what's that?
If you like things grounded in reality, but with some
twist.
fantastical thingies going on.
Yeah, but I don't want people to think that I'm a conspiracy theorist or anything. Like,
Too late.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Did you watch Man in the High Castle, Chris?
Yes, I did. I really like that show.
I bet you did. I never watched it. Did you like it?
I did. Yeah, it was
That's
really
an
good.
alternative history kind of thing, isn't it?
Yeah, it's about the Nazis and time travel, dimensional travel, I should say.
The Nazis.
Like it's basically like where the Nazis win and they take over America. It's pretty good. So like there's like American Nazis, and then there's the Nazis, and the Nazis in Germany take over basically all of Europe, and it's just a giant Nazi Germany, except for like the China and in that area. India and China are different. They're not included in the story, I don't think. I can't remember. Anyway, actually,
Available now on Amazon.
No, actually, I'm wrong, because there was Nazi America, and then there was Japanese America. Like the West Coast was Japanese, and then in the middle of the Rocky Mountains was like no man's land.
Huh.
So, anyway, before we get into the movie, though, I want to ask a question to get to know your pals. I want to ask you guys, what was your favorite subject in school? I'm talking probably middle school, high school. History,
So easy.
math,
for
whatever.
me.
So, Brian, what about you?
Probably
homeschooled.
art. Yeah, thanks.
Bathroom time.
I enjoyed art class because I could be creative, and I made a claymation character that blew up in the oven. So that's the perfect description of my education.
What was the character?
It was like his name was Mud Duck, because he looked like a pile of mud and he had a duck face.
So you basically just put a plow.
I had like a fully formed, like he looked like an action figure, but when he went in the oven, I guess I didn't do it right because they said he blew up in there. So
Okay.
That was probably really
Gotta
bad.
hollow
There's
him
like,
out.
like, oh, blew up, Brian. Sorry.
yeah,
So you really just
get the hell
dropped
out
it
of
when
my
you picked it
class.
up.
The teacher's like punching it.
Yeah, like this is garbage. I can't let people see this. Throws it on the ground.
Sorry, it blew up.
Saving the trouble.
Jeff, what about you?
I'm gonna echo that. The graphic arts class, Mr. Jones. Hope he's doing well.
Counting crows.
Easily my favorite class. I took study hall specifically to go to that class twice in the same day. So, and now I have a career doing that stuff for a living. So yeah.
Mr. Jones, not Mr. Waderick?
No, I mean, Mr. Waderick was graphic design. I'm talking specifically graphic arts.
Yeah.
Where I also got to use Photoshop stuff, but they also taught you like how to use like a printing press, and you could develop photos in like a dark room and all kinds of cool stuff.
Printing.
I mean, yeah, screen printing.
Yeah, he was awesome.
And the teacher himself, he was just easily my favorite teacher of all time.
Yeah,
so.
great guy.
Yep.
Jordan, what about you? What's your favorite subject in school? What was your favorite subject in school?
Oh, history, easily, yeah.
What era?
So, started for me in middle school because there's a pretty significant event that happened to be on the same date I was born. So I was like, oh, I care about this now because it's about me. No, it started out middle school, so it was around class was American history, but then it broadened to European. So yeah, history. I was able to do something with it for a short period of time.
For me, it was technology and different things like that in technology. I also enjoyed the graphic arts class, which I do have a degree in graphic communications, which is kind of the same thing. But also the shop class and the technology class, electronics class, all those different tech ed classes you call them in America. I really liked all that type of stuff. It's probably because I didn't get very good grades in the other stuff, so it kind of was like, the only place I got good grades, but that's probably because I didn't really try.
I never had any of those cool classes like wood shop or like any of that stuff, tech stuff. I didn't have any of that. I kind of wish I did. I feel like I would have definitely got more into that stuff for sure.
I think it's worth mentioning Chris and I actually went to school together, so.
Yeah, that's why we both had the same graphic arts teacher. Yeah. Who's an amazing person.
Yep.
One of the coolest teachers, coolest teachers I had. I went to a Catholic grade school, K through 8, and we didn't have electives at all. We had art class, but it was mostly just the math teacher. But it's like, I like art, I'll teach it. And it was really bad. But it's because funding issues and stuff. Yeah.
Draw Jesus.
I mean, Jesus
if
had
you
art,
use
right?
red, it's a burning bush.
Yeah. All right, so we're going to talk about the Great Wall. We're going to do a recap. I'm going to go through it. There is definitely a point in this movie, and I'll point this out, where I was on board until I was like, definitely like, okay, this sucks. This is dumb. But I'll point it out just so you all know it's coming. But the Great Wall. So it's a co-production between Chinese and American studios. And it stars Matt Damon, Pedro Pascal, Willem Dafoe, Jing Tian, I think is how you say it, Tian, and a couple other actors that wouldn't be well known here in America, but in China they're pretty well known. But the big part was this movie is Matt Damon, Pedro Pascal, and Willem Dafoe, who when I first saw him for the first time, I thought it was Christopher Walken, but that's a different story.
Anytime I see Willem Dafoe in a movie, I'm like, hey, it's Willem Dafoe. All right.
Yeah, pretty much. Also, fun fact, at the time, not anymore, this was the most expensive film ever to be filmed in China at $150 million. It's been since it's been beaten since, but in 2016.
And how much money did that movie actually make?
It lost $75 million, I read. So.
Well, it says box office is $334 million.
That's what, that's what I understand, because I saw that. It said according to the box office, it made money, but then it said it lost $75 million. So I don't understand how that.
Maybe because the international market, like when
advertising
it came over?
too, maybe. I guess I don't know.
Who can say?
I mean, it said it made $334 million. Maybe budget was $150 million. That's budget. Maybe just American budget.
I was going to say too, because there's movies that different markets, like Warcraft, for example. It totally bombed here, but overseas it did like incredible. So it's just different markets.
And I'd imagine that's why they did it this way, is because this movie was co-production, because they knew they could make a ton of money in the international market. Anyway,
that's why they picked Matt Damon, baby.
Right.
Matt Damon.
I knew it was going to happen.
I wasn't who's saying
it.
So whenever this movie opens up, they have this kind of like words on the screen. There's really drummy parts, like the drummy music coming in with the fakest, most terrible animated
CGI,
Great Wall
man.
I've ever seen. CGI Great Wall I've ever seen. And I was like, that's bad. It even ends, that whole introduction scene ends with like this crack that goes through the wall. It is so terrible. The animation on that, CGI on that crack. I don't know if you guys noticed that, how bad it is.
But were they going, like, I'm trying to recall, was it like a storybook, like a scroll thing they were trying to do there?
No.
I don't
They
know
were
what
just
it
showing a
was.
wall?
Nope.
It's bad.
It
bad
looks like it was.
walls.
I mean, it maybe had some kind of style to it, like it's
Stylistic,
stylized. Yeah, but like it was definitely a choice that it
Did not
looks like an
pan out.
intern kind of did the breaking of the wall. Like, hey, can you just throw this in there, dude? That looks cool. Let me just buy that off you. You know, it was terrible. But anyway, that was the big thing that stuck out. That really put a sour taste in my grapes here with this one.
Sour taste in my grapes.
Okay.
Wine's
Made his
gone
grapes
bad.
sour, ladies and gentlemen.
Right. So when we open this movie, Matt Damon, so we a bunch of guys riding on horses being chased through a desert. And one of them, which you find out later, is Matt Damon. The other one, Pedro Pascal, who are Tovar and William. And you find out that these are, first off, when I was like, oh, it's a movie about the Great Wall, and the first thing they introduced us to is a couple white guys, a group of white guys running through the desert being chased. And so I was like, oh, here we go.
I was curious about like how they're gonna make them make sense, because I was like, you know, you saw the previews. I remember seeing previews for this and being like, I don't want to see this.
Yeah,
What
well,
is this?
it got a lot of backlash because of that. Like, you're making a movie based in China. You're like your trailer's leading off with like two white or European guys. It's
Yeah.
kinda like, what are you guys doing here?
I remember seeing the trailer for the Super Bowl. That was the first time it premiered here, and everybody in the room was like, "Was that Matt Damon?" So,
Well, especially because he's all like, he has a beard and everything real bad. Like the whole first part of the movie, he's really,
they're both shaggy. Yeah, he
yeah,
and
they're
his
real
friend.
shaggy. They've been on the road like for a long time, they've been traveling for a long time. And you find out that these are mercenaries and they're traveling to China for some reason. And we'll talk about what it is in a minute. But they eventually lose the people that are chasing them.
Sorry, can we address his accent?
You want to talk about that now?
Matt, yeah, I mean, he's already been talking. Right?
Well, no, this is before they even talk. They
Okay, all right, sorry, good.
They're still running.
Yeah. So they set up camp, and after they've obviously around it, maybe those were, it's kind of thought that maybe those were the people that the Great Wall was built to fight against. Maybe they're being seen as enemies, and so I was thinking at this point, like, knowing I've seen the previews though, so I knew there was something else going on, supernatural. But like seeing this part, I'm like, oh, these are the people that the wall was against. Like maybe there's like some kind of twist to them or something. Why are they chasing Matt Damon and this group through the desert, which they never really talk about, so I don't know why. But they start talking, and Jordan, can you tell us about Matt Damon's his accent?
So I had to look this up. I was like, what is he going for here? Like, I couldn't make it out. Clearly, Pedro Pascal as a Spanish person in this. So anyways, but I'm not going to do that. But like,
He plays it well.
Yeah, he plays. Yes, so he plays that well. So I had to look up the synopsis for this, and it says he's apparently Irish.
Really?
Yes,
But see,
but there's times it sounds Nordic.
It's-
Sometimes it sounds like, I don't know, like what he's going for, like lower class English. I don't know, like it's just like,
Because I know he talks
Yeah,
about fighting the
that-
Danes and stuff.
yeah. He takes mention of like there being like fighting for the Pope or like for kings and stuff like that. Also, the time period, I was kind of curious about that. It's supposed to take place like the emperor that's in this was an emperor in China during the 11th century, so somewhere around the 1000s. So
Because you find out they're trying to get black powder, and they're going to take it back to Europe and trade with it. So it's around that time that kind of was happening in history, I guess.
why didn't he just do his Boston accent from
Departed.
Departed or Goodwill Hunting.
Goodwill Hunting? Yeah. It's just,
Yeah.
that would have been a better Irish accent than this is.
How do you like them arrows?
I have a big problem with that part. But anyway, they set up camp. They're going through a bunch of like stuff from, I guess, someone who died or someone they captured or something like that. But they throw out this stone. And this like thing goes all the way to the middle end of the movie. Like the big thing
Magic
is
magnet.
this stone they throw out, and he grabs it. It's like as big as a baseball. And he's like, oh, that's a magnet. Like, hang on to that. They make it a point. Even Pedro Tovar comes up and says, oh, don't carry. That's too much weight. What are you doing? He's like, I'm going to make a compass out of it. Okay, whatever. When you see later what they do with that whole thing, I'm like, oh my God. It was so insane.
Yeah.
So they set up camp. It's at nighttime. All of a sudden, something happens. You kind of get this, first person view of a monster. Something is stalking them. comes out of the night, kills all the guys except for Tovar and William. William, they're back to back, slashes something that jumps at him, cuts off a hand or an arm of something.
Arm of the creature arm.
Yeah. And then it falls like over a hillside and down in the river, which they're in a desert. So I'm not sure how many, I don't know. Doesn't make any sense.
At this, I thought right up until now, I was like, okay, I'm a little intrigued. I didn't realize there was going to be like a horror element. What is happening? What? Like, okay, I'm interested because what I expected was not what I had seen so far.
Yes, I too was like, because I like the historical twist on it, right?
Also, yeah, I also saw so I watched this on Amazon Prime, and it had like a lot of really good reviews. Like it had like 15K reviews and almost
like
5
audience
stars.
reviews.
Yeah. So I was like a little hopeful at this
They
point.
were all wrong.
Or you find out that Amazon actually funded part of this, and that's why they have so many good reviews. Anyway, they take this arm. The next morning, they take this arm. They go back. They start riding through the desert again. They arrive, and they come upon the Great Wall. Jordan, why did they build the Great Wall?
Yeah, Jordan.
Yeah, Jordan. You know that, right?
From foreign invasion, the Mongolians at some point, I know was a big part of it. I don't know if that's
I thought
where
it was
they're
the Mongolians.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure. Like because it said at the beginning of the movie, it took what, like 1,400, 1,700 years to build it.
Yeah,
like, all in all. So again, would have been different invasions. During the 11th century. I don't know. Would that have been the Mongolians?
It said it was built for many reasons. One was to protect from nomads inhabiting the northern
the barbarians.
steppes. Yeah.
Many reasons.
They
The
did
other
mention-
was it looked cool.
What it would have been, there'd have been
Yeah.
like many, like they would have been, constantly trying to be invaded because it took 1,700 or 1,400 years. But
Right.
maybe they had to be careful about, they didn't want to say who these people might have been in fear of like upsetting people, like a certain audience.
They do mention them. They do call them barbarians, though. White barbarians.
They took a lot of stylistic choices, not only with with costumes of like armor and things like that, but
liked. I liked that. The
yeah, I
costume
did
stuff.
too. Actually, I thought
really
the
cool.
costumes were awesome. After a while, it was like Power Ranger type stuff.
It's like, it's like Dynasty Warriors, but
it really was. Yeah.
yeah.
It's like hyper history.
The Ronin anime.
Yeah.
Oh, what was that? Was it called Ronin?
I think so, right?
What's that other one? Saint Seiya or something? Kind of reminded me of that too. I don't really know what that one is about. Anyway, we'll get to that.
Well, they get chased. They get stopped at the Great Wall. There's an army at the Great Wall, kind of like ready to take. Like, hey, what are you gonna do? You have these guys behind them, or they have the people in front of them. So they drop their weapons, they surrender, and they get taken in to this army to see the commander, the general, and the commanders. Commander Lin Mei is Jing Tian, and then Commander Xiao, and the rest of his war council, including strategist Wang, who becomes a big person later on, or a more important person later on. The first thing I saw whenever I saw this whole group was like their armor is awesome, but it has that thing that Jeff mentioned in a previous episode.
I have a note.
What?
I hate it.
Go
You want me to
say
say
Jeff.
it?
Yeah.
Everything looks brand new. I hate it.
Like too clean.
Everything's too clean. I mean, it is funny because
It's
their
battle
armor
armor.
the armor gets dirty though as the movie progresses. Like, why is it so clean right now? Because they just made it. That's why.
Yeah.
Also, you find out this attack they're waiting for, their entire purpose, they call it the Nameless Army, right? Nameless Order. Sorry, the Nameless Order. This is like elite military group that is on the wall, and their entire purpose is to protect against an invasion that happens every 60 years, which we find out. And that's why maybe the armor's, that's the only reason I could reason with it, that the armor's clean, is because they haven't been attacked for 60 years. So maybe that's what it was.
That is at least the reason.
Yeah, because the Matt Damon and Pedro's armor's like clearly been beaten up and
They're looking rough.
Yeah.
They look ragged. Yeah. So these two show up, and you have this, like, as they're brought into the front of all these people, which Lin Mei speaks English, and you find out that
part, actually, I did actually think that was kind of funny. They were plotting to escape in
she heard
English, and she's like, hey. Like,
Don't do that.
hey, I can hear you. I understand what you're saying.
And they have these little like shots where they show like those two looking at each other, which are setting up like obviously like, okay, this is like the love twist. This is like the love story between these two. But you also get another shot of this other guy, which I say, my exact quote was, "What is up with Christopher Walken mean mugging everybody in the corner?"
He's just like peering from above.
I just thought he was like a monk or something at this point. I had no idea what. But I was like, hey, it's Willem Dafoe. All right.
He is a total bitch in this movie.
Yeah, he's a dickhole.
I wasn't expecting that.
Yeah, I was excited because normally he's a cool guy and he just wasn't.
I didn't know it was Willem Dafoe, so I thought it was Christopher Walken. But
man,
anyway.
that is impressive to not recognize him.
I just saw the chin.
A very
they both
unique
got
look.
Prominent chins.
They're both unique actors, though. So
yeah, but Willem Dafoe, nobody looks like him. I guess.
Yeah, but nobody looks
really,
like Walken, really.
I guess maybe like super old Christopher Walken, maybe now. But
and nobody talks like Christopher Walken.
That's true. Nobody walks like him either.
That's right.
They mentioned at this point protecting a secret because they kind of put them, hey, these two guys take them, we're going to interrogate them. And they mentioned protecting the secret that they can never leave. It's kind of the big thing with this.
Aren't they like impressed by the fact that they survived?
Yeah, they're like, what? You killed this thing? No, you
Yeah.
didn't. Shut up.
Oh, okay. That they didn't bring in the arm till later.
Oh, sorry.
Oh.
Yeah, because they mentioned they were attacked by monsters, and then they were like, oh, there's monsters, or they were that close. Like, how far were you? Like 3 days away or 2 days away? And they're like, oh, crap, they're close. And it kind of points to the story of some kind of monsters being like the big thing with this. You also, did they show at the point the kind of scenery behind the wall of like that green mountain?
I don't know if they did it yet.
Okay.
It's like a flashback where they show that, though,
But
right?
no, they show it before, and you're like, because I remember watching, like, why is this mountain green? It takes a minute to actually acknowledge why it's green.
Yeah, I think that maybe it's when it comes up on this first fight. So you find out that the Tao Te is an enemy that's going to be attacking the wall. Attacks the wall every 60 years in this cycle.
Bunch of green lizards.
But they're early. They're early this time.
Early lizards.
So all of a sudden, there's a big attack coming. So these guys, they don't have time. We're 18 minutes in at this point. They don't have time to like lock them up. So they kind of just like chain them up. For some reason, they like take them to the top and have people guard them, like have warriors guard them while they're being attacked. And I guess this is the whole point of this part, is to just show them like, oh, they're seeing how they fight.
Well, the one guy believed them because he's like, oh, they killed one of these things. So he's like, we should probably have them around. So he has them brought up top rather than going in like the dungeon or the cells.
Oh, was that the strategist guy?
Yeah, but they're still handcuffed up there. So it's kind of like, well, what are they going to do?
He's the dude in the black suit. Right?
Yeah, he looked at his sword too and was like, the green blood's on there.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I think that was Wang that said that. Yeah, you're right, because they didn't believe him at first. And okay,
Yeah.
You're right. I missed that part. Forgot about it. Anyway, they get up top, on top of the wall. This attack's coming, and these things are basically like a type of dragon, is what I kind of thought is like, oh, they're kind of telling the story of dragons and how they're prominent in Chinese culture.
Like they're like little goblin, dragon, lizard hybrids.
They look dumb. I didn't like the way
They do look dumb. If you've ever played the game Out of This World, it reminded me of those like beasts in it.
Oh, yeah.
But you couldn't really see them in the game, so they looked cool.
Like shadows, yeah.
I did like when they're like doing the drums of like battle, how they're using like nunchucks. I thought that was cool. That was awesome.
Nunchuck drums.
So anyway, we set up this whole like battle. Now everybody in the army, you find out about these different groups. The reason why different people are wearing different armor is because they're part of different corps of the army, of the military, where they have the blue, the crane corps, which is kind of where the focus is, and then they have the eagle corps, which are archers, and the tiger corps, which are ground troops. The crane corps, this is the dumbest thing I've ever seen. They basically
are these the claw? Yeah.
They basically jump off the wall down and stab them. They're kind of like dragoons, Jeff.
Yeah.
They stab them with spears, the monsters, as they're climbing up the wall. So they start shooting them from further out. As they get close to the wall, start climbing each other. Like, what is that movie where all the zombies climb up each other?
World War Z.
Yeah, World War Z style, like where they're climbing up each other to try to get up the wall. And then these crane core kind of fly down and stab them.
They bungee jump.
Yeah.
But like, why would you do that? They all died.
Why don't you shoot them with arrows?
Or just throw the
they were all
spears
getting
down
eaten.
at them on the ledges. Just throw them down.
Yeah. Just shoot them
You're
with
saying
arrows.
die. It's so stupid.
It's the dumbest thing ever.
That's dumb.
Anyway, this is where you get, again, Williams checking out Lin May.
Being real pervy.
Kind of watching it, yeah. She's getting, all her friends are getting killed as they're getting eaten because they're jumping off the wall like jackasses and getting killed. They're just in all the crane core is just women too. So they're just sacrificing women. All the guys staying up shooting with arrows, but they're just sacrificing women. They have the Captain America shields, some of the guys, the ground troops. They can throw those. So that's pretty cool. Again, a lot of the armor kind of set pieces are pretty cool.
I do like the costume design in this. I think it's good.
It's really cool. It's video game-like.
It is. It's totally a video game.
You can see where the budget went when you look at the visuals in this movie.
Yeah, it definitely didn't go into the CGI, that's for sure.
It went to the armor, yeah.
So as the dragon guy, the Tao Te, what's it again? Tao Te.
The
are
monsters.
attacking. Yeah, the monsters, as they're attacking, you can see off in the distance, they're coming down this very clear, like, valley into the Great Wall. Like, it's obviously they come from this green mountain to the valley. And we still don't know why they're doing it. They don't really go into that yet. But anyway, the Nameless Order is the whole group that's there. And they're basically, they kind of get overtaken. And some of the monsters get up, I think one or two of them get up on top. And obviously it starts killing all of them. So cut to the white men have to be able to save the day. They get let out. And they start fighting, and Pedro or Tovar and William basically take down two of them.
I was just going to say, Matt Damon is basically Legolas at this part.
Right, which drove me nuts. This drove me crazy because they give him a bow, and all of a sudden he's the best bowman ever, best archer ever. And so I guess you have to shoot the things in the eye, but every other archer can't shoot him in the eye for some reason, just Matt Damon.
And and they make fun of his bow the whole movie, even though he's like clearly better than everyone.
Yeah. We'll get into that the dinner scene next.
I don't need a better bowl than this.
But at the beginning of the movie, and this just goes back to this, he cuts off the monster's arm. Yeah.
Whatever.
And is that just saying he's a good... right then, they're trying to set up that he's a good swordsman, but no, actually he's a good archer.
No, I think they're just... Well, they're probably like, he's a good warrior, but at the same time...
But
yeah,
like,
he's good. He's mad.
So all these people could not have done this, right? Like they're saying like, oh, no one could ever do that, and then this one guy comes up with a sword, but he's actually good with an arrow.
They show him being pretty good with an arrow on horseback at the very beginning. He took out a couple guys.
They show him like being able, but I think the monster arm was to just like give you like a hint of what's like to come, and then it's like I think when he gets up on the wall and saves that kid from the monster and then does the arrow shot into the eyes, the big reveal, like, oh, he's able to fight well against the monster horde, you know?
Because the rest of the movie, they're like, you got to get him a bow. He needs a bow. Give him a bow.
Yeah.
Even Tovar's
he's doing backflips with the bow.
He's like, you got to give him make sure you bring the bow. Like stuff like that. So they fight. They kill two of the monsters. The battle kind of stops. Like all the monsters go back for some reason. They
drag their dead with them too.
Right, because they don't want them to be able to investigate them.
Which is such a weird thing. Like, oh, don't like.
I think they feed.
We don't want
they
them
feed
to
their bodies
investigate.
to the mother or whatever, the queen.
I don't know, man.
I can't remember. It's something like that. But anyway, they turn around and go back. I'm not sure. I don't know if it really goes into it why they turn back, because it's supposed to be like this never-ending onslaught for some reason, and all of a sudden they just turn back. I think they're also confused about this, but
there's doesn't one of them freeze or something? Like they said,
they're like, oh, that guy has a bow. We got to get out of here.
Oh man, it's Matt Damon. Let's beat it.
Matt Damon.
Yeah, so Matt Damon saves one of the characters who becomes important later. Balin comes around. Willem Dafoe comes around and says, hey, they really respect you now. You should take a shower and get changed and join them for food. Like they want you to come to dinner.
They'll feed you once you bathe.
They'll feed you. They shave their beards off too. I hated it.
And that's because they needed to show Matt Damon. They're like, oh,
yeah, but I hate it. I'm
Yeah.
so glad I hate it.
But I
hate it.
You can tell it's Matt Damon with a beard.
I don't know.
What?
I don't know. I mean,
Well, he kind of looked. He kind of looked like Thor.
Yeah, he looked cool.
But his beard looked terrible.
Well, in Thor Ragnarok, he played he played Thor in that like random like thing that Loki put on. Was that him that did it? I think that was something.
I don't know.
All right.
I never saw
Continue.
Ragnarok. Sorry.
Yeah. Oh, God.
I would like to see it, just haven't seen it yet.
One of the best ones.
Okay, so they go into this dinner, this big hall with all these guys eating. One of the guys starts making fun of his bow, and he's like, "That's my favorite bow. I don't need a new bow. That's my." They don't really explain why that's like a special bow. It's so stupid why they bring that up as that's his special bow. They never ever explain why it's a special bow.
He's just skilled with the bow
because it's the white man's bow. That's why, Chris.
It was made by white men. Gotcha.
But you keep like you guys just say like the white man's bow, and he's like the white savior. But this was like a production made by overseas. Like
so
I don't understand why did
made
it
by
so
both.
weird,
it was,
man.
It was a co-production.
It was a
by
collaboration, I guess.
It was written by people from both countries too. The writers.
It was written by Tom America.
Tom America.
Tom America.
So there's this point where him and Pedro have to demonstrate how great he is with a bow. The dumbest trick shot ever. Pedro throws up this thing.
But even before that, he's like, "Hey, we got to do that thing we did once before." Like they kind of like, "Oh, we're doing this again. I just want to eat." Like they make mention.
Oh,
of
like they've been working for a while together.
Oh no, they've done this trick before, and I hate when they do this thing in movies. Like that one time, and I just hate when they like. It's like this small minute thing.
Callback thing.
Yeah, but it's not actually callback in the movie itself. They're just like, remember that one time we're in Paris? Let's do that thing again. I hate when they do that in movies. Like it just drives me nuts. Like
like they don't actually have any backstory to it. They're just
like, oh, we're doing like that thing we did that one time a couple years back.
Make sure this time you don't cut.
Yeah, that. It's like for some reason I just hate when they do that. I just like
keep your finger out.
It's just a shallow way to like show like some kind of like relationship between two characters. Yeah, history. I hate it.
So they do this trick shot where Pedro throws a bowl up, and then Matt Damon shoots 3 arrows. One ricochets it off something else, and then 2 other arrows hold it up like correctly and like against a pillar.
Hold the cup up or something.
It looks so bad too.
That doesn't look good.
Terrible. But also, you just shot arrows at their like structures.
Yeah. The CG is like almost could be cool.
I thought the monsters looked good.
They just look so not.
It's an entire army.
They don't look like part of the environment. It's just like suffering from that
hyper realistic video game cutscene.
It's almost like an old like
Uncanny
Sci-Fi
Valley.
Channel movie.
Wow, I wouldn't call it that bad. Wow, it's like
Sci-Fi
Channel
pretty
quality.
bad.
Yeah, they need like another pass on it, like go back through and do a couple more passes on the animation and stuff, and then the kind of composition of it.
They did a 1 pass, they needed a 2 pass.
It's not Sharknado bad, but it's bad.
I was gonna say, like, that's pretty bad.
It's like, they didn't buy the assets off the asset store and then just kind of put them over the video. But
they did use the Green Monster asset over and over again. They just copy paste.
I don't know if that means I'm going to laugh.
We asked you some history questions. You chimed in. You're good. You made your contribution.
I just go to sleep now.
You going to quiz us later?
I can boot down or boot off or whatever it's called. I don't know.
Boot off. Yeah, go ahead and boot off, bro.
Yeah. You can go boot off.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Someone restart Jordan. He's stuck in a loop.
But I use a boot and it's like
someone put him in a room, have him
I use a
until he
boot.
resets.
That's how you humans do this, right? With a boot.
Cut this out,
I use
please.
A boot.
All right, so they make the trick shot. All of a sudden, everybody's like cheering for them for some reason. Anyway, that one guy that challenged them is kind of like, okay, great, yeah, good job, bro. Then you cut to a scene with him and Lin May are eating.
Perfect description.
Yeah. So him and Lin May are eating, and she's asking him about his past, and he's kind of like all the things he did, all these different people he fought for, because he has scars, I think, on his face, which she's pointing out. And she kind of talks about how her history, she was born into this role, and she's basically been trained her whole life to be in the Crane Corps and be a commander.
Yeah, she fights for one flag. He's fought for multiple flags.
Yeah, and so that's
he's
kind
like,
of,
we're the same person. She's like, no, we're not.
Yeah,
we're the same, you know.
He's trying to say that they're the same type of, they're both warriors, but she's like, well, you fight for too many flags, and kind of like a big turn off. She gets really turned off, kind of walks away from him, and all her friends are like, ha ha ha.
She dried up.
Yeah, I
Is
guess
that what they
That's what the subtitle said.
Is that what it said?
Totally turned off.
I must have not had him on for that.
The faucet got shut off. Yeah.
That's closed captioning. That's not subtitles. Jesus.
Yeah.
Somebody closed up the wallet.
Yeah.
Wow.
Anyway, where was I at?
I don't know.
They're
Okay,
Yeah, they were talking about not trusting each other. And
Yeah, he's like, I don't trust anyone. She's like, I trust everyone. The end. All right.
And then there's this kind of scene where they're like, hey, some monsters are still on the wall. So her, General Shao, go off and try to find this monster, which is really
so
strange.
Dumb. This is so dumb, this scene.
Yeah. This scene was getting to the point where I'm like, nope, it sucks.
I mean,
what are they What are they doing at this point?
I get why.
They're going
I get why they decided to do it, but like the way it was done was just terrible.
Yeah, good old phalanx.
It's a bad way of getting rid of the commanding officer. They should have just did something in the first battle. But anyway, there's these two monsters on the wall. It's kind of like the Jurassic Park scene where you have one facing one way and the raptor comes up from behind or whatever.
Swoop in, yeah.
Yeah. So they have the phalanx going forward, all the soldiers that are kind of have a bunch of shields kind of doing the phalanx, so they're going forward towards this monster. Then you have Lin Mei and General Shao in the back, and they're kind of coming up from behind. For some point, another monster comes from behind them, and they see it in the reflection of his sword or something, and they turn around just in time to fight it. And obviously, they kill it, but he's killed in the process, or he's mortally wounded in the process. This leads to her becoming the general of the entire operation, the
She's
Nameless
in charge
Order.
now.
Yeah.
Yeah, he pushes her out of the way. He gets, I don't know, chomped, and then that's it.
Yeah, it kind of falls on him. It doesn't really even chomp him. Like he's
The
dead
cut
by
there
that
is the cut is so like he gets chomped and then he's dead. Like they're already carrying him away. It's like what? Then they throw off 1 million lanterns in the air for him in his honor.
Yeah. Which, oh man, we'll talk about that later.
And then the Magic Kingdom of Disney does the do 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 do. That doesn't really happen.
Have you ever
but-
seen Tangled?
Yes,
Yeah.
I have.
That they do that same type of thing at the end for the princess.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
And that's what reminded me of it.
Seen
Much
that movie a
better
lot.
movie.
Yeah,
Pixar callbacks.
that was Disney. That wasn't Pixar.
Oh, that's right. That was no. What wasn't Disney? Was it Disney?
Yeah, it was Disney.
Oh, okay.
It was the same
Yeah, but
studio that
Dis-
did like Frozen.
Oh, okay. It's post Pixar. I got you.
Yeah.
Yeah, Brian.
That's the thing they do.
Yeah,
though,
sorry.
Right?
What?
The lantern thing. That's like a thing that's actually
Yeah,
done.
I
Well,
think it's a
yeah, that's an
cultural
actual
thing.
cultural
Yeah.
thing. Lanterns are a thing, right?
Yeah. Fire's a thing, right? That's real.
you know, this thing with paper and fire, they're putting them together. Are they still doing that?
Things burn, right?
Don't put that in the air. That's got to be bad for the environment.
No, it burns up. It's fine.
Yeah.
It's fine. Anyway, we get to this. We cut back to it during this whole battle's going on. You have this other thing where Tovar, William, and Balin are kind of talking about running, like kind of escaping, and they're kind of talking about how Balin many years ago came to the wall or came to find black powder as well. He's a traitor, like a traitor, like a mercenary.
He got
Not a
stuck
mercenary,
there.
but a traitor. He was trading things.
I have a note here that we're about 45 minutes into the film, and it has felt like I've been watching this for 2 hours already at this point.
And I think it's only an hour and a half movie.
I know.
It's an hour 45.
Okay.
Yeah.
So anyway, he comes in. So Balin's there. He talks about how he has some black powder
I think
hidden and why
his
he's
name's
there.
Ballard. I think his name's Ballard. I could be wrong.
I thought it was Balin. Hold on.
I think his name's
It doesn't
Bobby.
matter.
His name's Biscuit.
It's Ballard.
Then where did I get Balin from? Am I
Balin Greyjoy?
Oh.
Okay, whatever.
It doesn't matter.
Balin Sarah.
Just
His
call him-
name is Baylor,
call
not
him
Balin.
Call him
Sorry.
Balin.
Ballard?
Old Willie.
Old Willie Teets.
Yeah. What was that? So they're talking about basically leaving during the next event, next battle. And they're going to sneak out because Balin has some black powder hidden away. But he's also telling him how he's never been allowed to leave because he knows
Ballard.
the secret.
Yeah. That's what we already established that.
Yeah, that's what I said.
5 minutes later, Ballard.
And if you say it again, I'm going to sock you in the face.
We just did this.
We went over this. It's Ballard.
Yeah, Ballard.
Did you say it wrong again?
I said Ballard.
He did.
Ballard.
I said Willie. Did I say Willie?
You said Titty Wills. No, you said the wrong name.
Heard it. He said big. I heard it.
Yeah, everybody.
So Baylor. Well, my thing says Balin. I don't know. I guess I gotta go back and change it. Anyway, okay.
Ballard.
So Ballard. He came to the wall to find the black powder. He was told he wasn't allowed to leave once he found out the secret. So he's been there ever since. So he wants to escape with the help of William and Tovar. But he has some black powder hidden away in like a wall safe or something. At the same time, there's this kind of while this is going on, they burst in and say, "Hey, the general's been killed," and so these three run up and try to figure out what the hell's going on. And during this time, they're in this meeting when Lin Mei becomes general. They talk about how William kind of gives them a way of like figuring out how they can actually defeat these things, because they're like, "Oh no, we can't defeat anything," and of course William's like, "Hey, I got an idea. Why don't you kind of catch one?" And they're like, we've tried that, we haven't been able to. And he's like, we'll use like a hook, which is like the same thing they do for whaling. Mm-hmm. He's like, I've seen it used before, and they're like, that's not possible.
Yeah, apparently he's a whaler.
I've seen it done in Spain.
Yeah. So they're like, oh, weird, a hooked thing. Even though they've been able to develop lots of technology, including swords that come out of the wall and spin.
Listen,
and cut things off.
Yeah, they're like helicopter blades. I was like, whoa, what are these?
Those things were awesome. The little blades that come out of the walls.
Why didn't you use them the first time?
The fact that they have those hand divers with the bungee cord divers, they get like
Stupid.
one kill at a time. It means they're inefficient as shit.
So they're like, okay, well, that's a great idea. Let's try to figure that out. So Tovar's remain focused on escaping with the black powder. He's still in that part of the mission, but William's like, oh no, we got to help them.
Real quick, do they say, like, I mean, as a viewer, like, I'm assuming we all knew what the black powder was, right? Like gunpowder.
Yeah.
But
right.
Is that alluded to at all yet? That it's actually gunpowder at this point?
Yeah.
Oh,
they talk about it as a weapon of war and stuff.
They loaded it into a weapon at that point, didn't they?
Did they?
To use it?
I thought they were talking about pepper.
I want it on my fries.
No, they talks about like if they find, they can like, they'll be rich if they find black powder because they know it's some type of mythical. They don't know what it actually is. They just know that it's a powerful weapon.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's an alchemist's dream at this point.
Oh yeah, they do bring that up. That's alchemy kind of thing, which I think is neat.
Yeah, yeah, that was cool. Cool feature.
Okay, so during the next attack, they're going to catch a monster using this concept that William comes up with. And the idea is during this time, Tovar, Ballard, and William will escape while they're concentrating on this.
Ballard.
Did I say? I said Ballard. Ballard. I'm gonna say William.
Yeah.
Say Damon.
Say Green Goblin. Just say Green Goblin.
The only reason I know that it's because that my high school is called Ballard. That's the only reason I know.
Ballard?
That's why it stuck out to me. I was like, wow, this guy's name's Ballard.
My name's Ballard.
Okay. The one thing that kind of stood out to me was like when at the scene again, they're not allowed to leave because they know the secret. All the other guys, like William and Tovar realize that they can't leave because they know the secret. And I'm wondering like, why wouldn't the Chinese want the secret to get out, like for help? But maybe it doesn't make any sense. Like that whole part of the story doesn't make sense, other than the fact that they can keep people
secret.
there.
You're talking about the black powder, right?
No. The dragon monsters. Like why they?
At some point, I can't remember her name. She's the one that's in command now. She says it represents greed. Like the aliens represent greed.
Right.
So that's something to do with why they don't want other outsiders to know exactly why that is or how that like makes sense. They're
like
understand.
Cursed in a way.
Right. So that's what I was going to bring up next was a story. They go into the story while they're there.
Okay.
With horrible CG.
Yeah. So basically find out that the Tao Te are there because years and years ago, there was a king who was very greedy. And he was, to punish his greed, a meteor hit the earth and the Tao Te, the monsters, came out of it.
That's what it was. Okay.
Yeah, and so that every 60 years they have to attack. So the wall was built. I guess the idea here is the wall was built to protect from that.
To protect humanity or their land. Yeah.
Do they say how long this has been going on for?
Oh, I don't know.
They probably did mention it. Well, like
60
when originally.
years, at least.
Every 60 years, yeah.
But no, they talked about the emperor. She says how many centuries prior the emperor was around.
Okay, I missed that.
Yeah. So it must have been a long time. Plus, I don't understand why the monsters didn't go the other way then. Like, why didn't they just go the other direction?
Oh, they're weird.
Don't try to think about it.
Yeah.
They they have like little signals. They
Well, I think
shake
it's supposed to be northern China, right? Is that what they said? Is northern China, or like northern territory of China?
I didn't pay attention.
The
enough
northern
to know.
steppes of China, maybe, or something like that. I didn't pay attention to that deeply, but so we go into the second attack where they're going to try to capture one, and this is whenever the movie really was like, I was done. Like, this was like, okay, this sucks. This is done. Yeah, because it got so stupid at this point. Like, from now on out, it's just dumb.
They put like the sleeping potion on the friggin' slather it on the hooks.
That's when I fell asleep.
Yeah, this movie literally made me tired for the rest of the day. I watched it earlier. I shouldn't have did that. I was like, I can't stay awake.
So they hatch this plan to catch this thing, to catch a monster, using sleeping powder. They were going to basically, William's like, get sleeping powder and use it to like capture these things. And whenever it hits, we got to let it, it's going to fall asleep because it's going to get punctured by these harpoons they're shooting it with. And then they're going to drag the monster back up the wall once it falls asleep. However, that doesn't go the way it planned, obviously. And during this battle, Ballard and Tovar are getting stuff ready to go so they can escape. And William was supposed to meet them down below to escape. He obviously... he's at that point where he's ready to walk away, but then as
change of heart,
so as the battle starts going bad for them, they keep on losing monsters, and so they're the monsters are figuring out how to get away from the harpoons. There's one left, so obviously William, in the dumbest thing I've ever seen, he slides down the chain,
which makes like how's that possible?
I was like,
and then the arrows are just flying all around him, like they can't see him because it's
and
foggy.
Fire,
yeah. How he's not hit.
And they started doing the Whistler arrows, yeah.
Screaming meanies.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
You know
Well,
those football,
that,
the football, the vortex?
they shoot down some kind of gas or something too, right? To like make it all hard to see. Didn't they do that?
Did they do that? Or was that just
fog?
I think they were like, hey guys, we're running out of budget. Let's make it foggy so we have to render every monster in this attack.
I think they did something to try to get it so that other monsters would go away without seeing this one that was stuck.
Oh, they put up the wall of fire to block the rest so they could pull it up. That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
And so he slides down at like face first too.
Which makes no sense.
Which looked terrible. Like it was animated terribly.
Why?
Yeah.
It's like they download an asset off the Unity store and were just like make a guy slide down a pole. Like it was so dumb. Like I said, this is whenever it goes bad. So he's down there fighting. All of a sudden he's taking on multiple of those guys. I think they start jumping out. And then out of nowhere, just as about to get killed, Tovar comes out of nowhere and like chops one in half with his axe.
Yeah, in the fog.
Yes.
Didn't even know where he was.
Well, they're able to hear like
surprise,
the monster's coming or the alien's coming because like they put the whistle arrows or like the whistlers were shot into some of these things. So
yeah,
but yeah, it's just dumb.
The old whistler.
But they see firsthand like what gunpowder does.
The reveal.
They never witnessed it before. Like what actually this black powder is.
For the myth of it, yeah.
So Lin May says to save William, they bring out these cases of black powder, which everybody's against using in this army because of how deadly it is, how like terrible it is. And they say all that, then they start throwing down grenades that are just exploding everywhere.
They don't know where these guys are down there.
Yeah, exactly.
They're all willy-nilly about it. It's like, yep.
Yeah.
Let it rain.
So like they're trying to stop a thing from getting out of a harpoon, plus two guys are down there trying to help them, and then they're just whipping grenades down there.
They're supposed to bring back one of these things alive too. Like they're just
right.
So just I don't know. It was wild.
Okay, they pull it up. They obviously they survive and they pull this thing up. I think he gets knocked out at some point or something like that.
His shirt's off.
Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta show off the Damons.
The Damons.
The Damons. Those his nipples or
I don't know. I guess it's what it's going
his
for.
abs or whatever. His shoulder.
Yeah, whatever you want it
shoulder
to be.
blades.
Yeah. Gotta
What's your-
show off
what do you-
Damon's
what's your
grill at
fetish?
Sports bar.
Yeah, because he's
What's your
laying at
Damon
this point.
fetish?
They blow stuff up, they carry it up, and then
That was good, Jeff.
he's
That was
laying
good.
down. He has his shirt off. She's
You like
looking
it?
at him, being like, "Oh, thank you for helping us out." And I guess they discover that the magnet that was in his pocket helped subdue the actual monster.
Yeah, it's like a.
The mom or the queen has to be able to communicate.
The mom.
Well, I guess she is the mom
mommy.
to all of them.
The mommy.
There's something like if she's not able to communicate with them, they become like not lifeless, but they can't really function very well.
They go
They
to
just
sleep.
stand
It's like a
around,
hive mind.
Yeah, hive mind kind of thing. Yeah, that's a magnet has something to do with that.
and they all have to feed her.
Right. So she's like, it's basically one monster that has like other monsters that basically just do everything for it, which is what happens at the end. Whatever. So he's laying down on the getting, looked over after they almost blew him up. And she is like, comes in and starts talking to him. And then you cut to a point where they're using the magnet. They're testing this theory. They caught it. They have it in a box, and they test this theory of using a magnet to like basically shut it down, like turn it off.
Does it actually go to sleep or just like it's immobile?
Maybe it's just like cutting it off from the mom.
No, I think the magnet holds them back because if you, well, I don't want to get too far ahead, but if you recall later on, who is the oh my god, the guy in the black suit, what's his name?
Wang?
Wang's using that magnet to hold a horde of them back.
They're also, when he goes to see the king, it's sleeping in the box. And then
Right,
it wakes
so it's
up.
it's already sleeping
Okay.
plus the magnets.
Well,
There.
yeah, it hasn't been. I think it also hasn't been fed because remember when they get food. I know because they want to get food to like take to the mom to regurgitate.
Yeah.
But I think that
That's
like
weird.
the sleeping potion wears off, and when he moves that magnet back, it just like it drives the thing crazy and it goes nuts.
Okay. The magnet is like this thing that makes it go to sleep, or it communicates. It becomes
it
immobile.
holds them back.
It
It's some
becomes
kind of weakening
immobile.
thing. Yeah,
They don't like it. How about that? They don't like science.
magnets. How do they work?
Yeah, right. ICP reference.
He's bringing up the insane clown posse. Do it.
You're telling me these things have been around for that long in a mountain valley.
Yes.
There's nothing magnetic naturally occurring in that mountain.
And also,
Or
yeah,
in those
like
hills.
but like they're also they keep saying how these things are learning and adapting.
Right.
But like, how do they not know how magnets work at this point?
Also, there has to be magnets. I mean, magnetism's everywhere.
That's what I'm saying though. Like, you think these
This
monsters?
is a very silly movie. like you got Matt Damon just slid down a fucking chain. Sorry.
face first.
Yeah, and it was like
Matt
hundreds of
Damon.
feet. Like wow, what?
Yeah, and
But-
magnets themselves are things are magnetic, and they're in the
It's
earth.
natural. Yeah, it's a natural thing.
So how is it not like everything not interfering with these guys? Anyway, they put it to sleep, and then there's this like person there that's like, kind of part of the king's court, and he's like, "Oh, hey, you caught one. I have to take it directly to the king because that's the rules." He said he wants to see one as soon as we subdue it and put it in a
yeah.
box. So
That's
he
the
takes,
Raz.
and they're all like, "No, don't do that. That's stupid." And he takes it off, and in a cart to the king.
The emperor. Yeah.
Yeah, to the emperor. And that's when you also get the scene where Matt Damon again is approached by Tovar and Ballard to say, "Hey, we're gonna get out of here now. These things are getting crazy. Can we please get going? We have a plan. Let's go." And he's
time to leave.
like, "No, let's not do that. I don't want to do that.
We have to help them.
We have to help them." They also at some point. I think Matt Damon says something about like he's tired of running or tired of being a mercenary or tired of like turning his back.
I just want to shoot arrows.
Right. And of course they accuse him of being like in love with this Lin May.
Which he is, though. They're right. They were right to accuse him. That's the reason.
He was accused.
That's
And
what
they
shoot
were right.
arrows.
He was guilty.
Yeah.
Shoot arrows.
I just want to climb the wall and shoot arrows all
Listen,
day.
guys, I just really like it here. Yeah.
You see me slide down that chain?
I just want to oil myself up and slide down these chains.
We can slide down chains all day here.
I want to ride one of these green monsters over the mountain with you.
I have magnets now. We can ride them.
I have a magnet experiment we can look at together.
So, at the time that they send this whole plan is being hatched, they figure out that there's a hole under the wall. Magnet experiment.
Sorry.
We can have a magnet experiment we can look at together.
I just wanted to get my voices in. I'm done.
Sorry.
To everyone listening right now, if you're having a hard time following along, it's just because this is how the movie is, guys.
This is the film.
Yeah. So the Taote basically climbed underneath the mountain and dug through underneath the wall and created a tunnel, and then they like went through it because they're basically getting smarter, and so they figured out how to go through it, and I guess they're going towards the king because the other they're just in the other side of the wall, which is where all the people live.
It was like these attacks on the wall were a distraction for them to get
While they're digging
into the city where the emperor lives.
They did the
Right.
old okey doke.
Yes,
old,
the technical term, military term is okie
The
doke.
old 23 skidoo.
Ballard and Tovar are basically going to break out. They go and steal a bunch of black powder. They blow a door open
Yeah.
and steal a bunch of black powder. They use black powder, dynamite basically, to steal a bunch of other black powder so they can escape. Matt Damon comes down. It's like, no, you guys aren't doing that. What the hell is wrong with you? And then they like knock him. They basically drop a cannon on his head,
So
knock him
stupid.
out. Yeah. And then they take off. At the same time, Lin May and them realize that the monsters went through, and they're like, we got to get to the emperor, because if they let that other one wake up, the queen's going to know where the emperor is.
They're going to be in danger either way.
The emperor takes the magnet off. It goes crazy, starts killing people. And emperor's hiding. At this point, we cut back to Lin May, and she's like, we got to get to the emperor as fast as we can because these things are running that way. If they take the magnet off, it's going to show the queen where the emperor is. They decide to take an airship, which I think is, I don't know if they call it that. But it's basically a hot air balloon.
Hot air balloon, yeah.
A hot air balloon.
Balloon.
Oh, that balloon.
But they're like, that technology doesn't work. We didn't test it enough. And she's like, too bad, we're using it. And so they have this scene where like all these hot air balloons, like the kind of things they were letting off whenever the general dies. Kind of same kind of thing.
Lanterns.
A little
Yeah, the
foreshadowing.
lanterns.
There you go. People
Where
lanterns.
they're using the same concept of like, but they're all starting to, like, a bunch of them are like blowing up.
They're burning
stuff.
people to light them.
Yeah. So they start trying to take off on all these different things. They're all like ridiculous. Most of them are crashing. William sees this. They get him. Wait, before this, they get him for trying to steal the stuff, and he's like, "I didn't do that, I swear." And she like locks him up and calls him.
It's
a bad
because
person
they
or something.
escaped and blew the door, but he was knocked out. So
Right.
his only saving grace was the kid that he saved earlier, witnessed it and saved his bacon.
Right. And then they're like, yeah, go ahead, go, leave. He takes off, or she goes take off, and he like kind of follows her.
Yeah.
Does he jump on the hot air balloon?
He takes one. I can't remember if it's the one. She's already ahead of him, far ahead of him. But he jumps on another different one.
He travels. He follows suit.
But
that's
they
right, he
show
does take
how
off
like
another one.
they show a couple people die, like that. It's not isn't exactly a best mode of transportation.
Because they mentioned that's
They're
like
pretty
not
rough.
ready.
Yeah, they had mentioned it, but they also show that
It was
it's
the
not-
quickest way to the capital,
Yeah,
I think, from
that's what
the
it was,
Great
yeah.
Wall. But yeah, it's also very dangerous.
Yeah. While this is going on, while William's flying away in another hot air balloon to save Lin May, Tovar and Ballard get stopped, I guess, by the same group that was following them earlier.
Yeah, I
and
think
kind
so.
of like captures them. And Ballard tells Tovar to go look on top of the mountain and see what way to go.
That's what it was. He steals the horses and all like the black.
He steals all the
powder.
horses for some reason, and then takes off with the black powder by himself. And Tovar obviously is all mad, but then he hears the explosion because all the people that took Ballard, that have him under like as a prisoner, they start playing with all the black powder stuff and like start throwing it around, and it blows up basically.
So Ballard dies. I mean, it's not on screen, but essentially like he's dead.
Yeah, because Tovar gets all the stuff and comes back at the end. You'll find out later.
Right.
As they get to the Emperor's castle, obviously all the monsters are already there. They're starting to like take out some of them. They're trying to attack them, but they're there to save the Emperor, I guess, and try to stop them in general. But I don't think they have a plan at this point on what they're going to do once they get there.
No, they were just trying to like hitting the panic button, just get to the Emperor and save him.
Yeah.
But then they want to get the alien back.
They wanted to get the magnet, right?
But they want to get the alien back, though, right? Because the idea was to use it.
Like they did, but I think the priority was making sure that the Emperor didn't go down because they're about to get swarmed.
And also, I guess they would go through the whole city and kill everybody. Like that was the idea there.
Yeah.
But also, with this advanced civilization that they're showing, never heard of a magnet.
Again,
or has no other magnets.
I don't know.
You also have a bunch of green goblins running around.
Hey,
they're fighting with arrows and stuff. So.
You're right. Yeah. So they get there. William comes up at the last minute and saves Lin May as she's fighting some down on the ground. He swoops in with his big balloon, and then pulls her up. They use some grenades. Wang is there, the strategist, and another soldier. They get to a point where in the castle, all the monsters are kind of gathered around the queen, and she's they're feeding her. And she's protected by her like big buff guys.
Yeah, they do the shield on her. They shield her up.
Good old phalanx again.
They're baby birding her.
Yes. Pretty disgustingly.
She has a group of other like real powerful dragon monsters around her that protect her, basically. Yeah, and so they're all around her while the literal ones come in and feed her. William and Lin May kind of fly over that. They see that, and the strategist says, "Oh, you can, she's most vulnerable when she's feeding."
Did they say why she came out to like battle with them? Like, why is she just not hiding, the queen? Like, why did she have to come out in the first place?
Oh yeah, I don't.
That's
a good point. Why could she just stay back at the mountain?
Yeah, like why would you make yourself vulnerable? I don't know.
Maybe she has to see what's going on to tell them what to do.
I wasn't sure. Well, she wasn't there.
Well, they were trying to take over that city too. But I don't know why, but yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if I missed it or what, but
yeah, it's another big source of food.
No, I think they do mention that she has to feed to gain strength and multiply.
Okay, so she needed to like be there because she was starving or whatever. Whatever. We'll give them the benefit of the doubt.
But she has to eat to get bigger.
Well,
and more powerful.
You know what it probably is? Like they were always like running toward the wall, like from the mountain. So when they captured that one and woke it up in the other direction, it signaled the other ones to start running that way.
They did. They showed that.
Right.
Yeah.
But the question is, why is the queen have to be there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's like, well, true.
She
but
has to order them what to do, though, right?
And feed, I guess.
Yeah, and feed. She has to get fed. Yeah. Because she's a pig. I don't know.
Okay, well.
All right, so we're going to the last scene now where they get to the Emperor. He's still alive. He's all like angry at them, like, why would you let this thing come in here or whatever. They develop a plan using the magnet to take that currently sleeping one, not dead, but sleeping one or knocked out monster who's like can't move. They strap it down. They strap a bunch of bombs to it.
Grenades on it.
Yeah. And the idea is I think they wanted to wake up and go feed her because they gave it a bunch of food.
Yeah.
And they're going through a sewer trying to get to the far side of where the monster's feeding. Yeah. And they're gonna let it wake up, eat, and then go feed mom. And then as it goes feeds mom, the idea here is they're gonna shoot it and blow it up. When they're in the sewer, though, the reason I'm bringing this part up is because he throws the Captain America shield again, which is pretty funny, to kill, knock off some monster's arms. Which I don't understand why anybody in the army can't do. Like other army guys can't do that. Like why is he the only one that's able to save everybody?
Because he's Matt Damon.
Okay. Yeah.
All
He's paid the most money.
It's just why. I'll save my other comments for the ending, but yes, good.
Okay, so they're in the sewer. Obviously, they're trying to wake this thing up, let it get up to the street to get to Mom. Matt Damon and Lin May climb up this tower they're in, and they're going to try to shoot that current monster that's strapped with bombs, the blow-up mom. But obviously, this doesn't work. And the big monsters that, like the mom's big guards, kind of knock his arrows away, which I thought he was supposed to be the best arrow shooter in the world.
Right, but you got to get the money shot.
Yeah. So how did they do that?
He kept just going up.
Yeah, they kept going up, and they're trying to get away from the monsters. The monsters are coming up the tower as well.
Because the guy who had the magnet,
the strategist, was holding him back with the magnet,
and I think he dies because they all like.
He does.
Yeah, because they start swarming up the tower.
Yeah,
he throws the magnet up to them.
Yeah.
Also, like, what does he have on his wrist that like automatically ignites the wick?
They had that as the soldiers had that.
Okay, all right.
And then we get CG swing outs.
Right. As the things are climbing up and trying to get to them, they swing out over the mom, and I think he shoots the magnet or throws the magnet at the mom to basically make the guards stop guarding her. Yeah. And he shoots a bomb or dynamite into her mouth, or she eats it, and it blows up.
The end.
Yeah, Matt Damon.
All the little other monsters kind of stop and kind of like fall, and there's a big collapse of all of them because they all freeze.
Do they die? Is that what happens?
I think they're just gonna like rot away.
I don't know. It doesn't show them. It just shows them like falling down, like just like a bunch of like hard, stiff things falling over. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. They all start collapsing off of the mountain or the big tower they're in. Sorry. And then Lin May and William are like, "Oh, we're left. Cool, we did it." And that's the end, pretty much. Although there is this like kind of thing where a wrap up scene where
it's the
William
end.
comes back.
They have they talk for 2 seconds and then
William comes back. He's the Emperor gives him like any wish he wants, and he wishes to take Tovar out of jail.
He gets 2 options. He can take the black powder with him.
Oh, yeah. That's right.
Or take Tovar with him.
Right. Or he can stay, I think was the other option.
Okay.
Stay with Lin May. But he chooses to take Tovar and go, which is so dumb.
Yeah, but then the Tovar's like, "You didn't want to stay," and Matt Damon just laughs it off. I was like, well, okay.
Yeah. Like, I thought you stayed and did all this stuff for this girl, and you didn't stay with her.
He was credits. Like, what?
Yeah. And that's the end of The Great Wall.
Thank God.
Starring some great actors, I guess. Well, let's go into the feedback of The Great Wall. I'm going to start with Jordan. Jordan, what do you think about The Great Wall?
I do like that it kicked off the action like right off the bat. Like, it didn't take long for like, obviously Matt Damon and Pedro were being pursued, but then, like the alien or the monster thing was like crazy quick. So I kind of like that. Even though they didn't give her a lot of background at the time about that. But they kind of alluded to that in the opening sequence where there's like the written text, like the wall's protecting us from something. So like, okay, they're the wall's protecting the China from these things. So I did kind of like they kicked off quickly. There wasn't much of build up to that, because it sometimes annoys me in movies that like there's too much build up and like by the time it comes, it's like not that great. It's kind of a letdown. So I do like that. But everything else aside, well, I also like the costume design. Everything else aside, I did not like this movie. Like, there's just too many, like, the bungee jumping fighters. Like, why would you do that? It just seems dumb. They're going to die. It seemed there's a lot of cookie cutter stuff in here as far as how like the action sequences went. Also, there's some like stuff that didn't make sense to me at the same time. Like, the CGI was terrible. Again, I loved the costume design. I thought it was great. I know Jeff brought up the how the armor looked shiny, but I thought it looked cool. Like, that was the one bright spot, I think, in this whole movie. And plus Matt Damon's accent, like, I don't know what that thing is. What is that? So yeah, I'm not a fan of this movie. There was some good action, but like the CGI and like, or the effects, just like they were so bad, like it overshadowed some of the action. So There you go.
Well, thank you for that. And how about Brian? What do you got for the Great Wall?
The Great Wall. Well, it's
The Great Crap.
It's not great. But honestly, I was actually kind of surprised about this movie because I thought going into it I was going to hate it because I heard it was a bomb and Matt Damon as a super action star seems kind of at first when I thought about it I was like it seems kind of off for him to be this kind of action star, but then I'm like, well, he's starred in the Bourne Identity films.
And those
so
are
there's
great.
that.
Those are awesome.
And those
movies.
are great action movies. So,
Never saw
like,
them.
Of course.
of course. But yeah, like a lot of this movie is cheese and
Cheese.
cheese. And there's a lot of sequences that don't make any sense, but I didn't hate it for some reason.
Is that because the bar was set so low for you?
Yeah, maybe, but I think it's like maybe in the way that it's so ridiculous that I enjoy it because it's not necessarily. I mean, it is. I wouldn't call it a good movie. I would call it maybe an average movie. But there's enough elements to it to the next day where I thought about it again, and I'm just like, would I ever watch that again? Or if somebody wanted to watch it, I'm like, yeah, maybe. I wouldn't care, but would I watch it again on my own? Probably not.
I do think, like Kristen mentioned, he likes the revisionist history movie stuff. I think there's something there. Like you do something really cool with that. Like this wall is built to keep something other than like humans out, aliens, monsters, dragons. That premise alone sounds really cool, but like the way this was executed, I don't think it was very, very good.
The one thing I was going to think of, or that I thought of a movie comparison, I don't know why I thought of this, but Cowboys versus Aliens.
I was just about to say that.
Yeah. And it's like, I really was hyped up for that movie before it came out. And then when I saw it, it just fell flat for me. So I'll say this. I enjoyed The Great Wall more than I enjoyed Cowboys versus Aliens.
All right.
So there you go.
Okay. I want to step back to the Matt Damon thing, the Bourne Identity. I saw the Bourne Supremacy.
Okay, that counts. That's one of them.
I didn't see the other ones, though.
Yeah,
I don't know what number that is.
That was the third one, right?
I don't know.
they're chasing him.
Does he get
Still.
Does it start with some chick getting killed, like some lady getting shot in a car?
Was it his like girlfriend?
I don't probably.
Or his
Does
wife?
he get shot when he's driving? And he
I
gets
haven't
upset?
seen those films in a long time, but I did like
The first,
Whatever
they're
that
good.
one
The
is.
first one's awesome.
and they rebooted it, didn't they?
They did one with Jeremy Renner,
Okay, that's right.
and they're
That's
supposed to do this whole other thing with it. But yeah,
Well,
my favorite scene in 40-Year-Old Virgin is like when they're
Speaking of Steve Carell,
they're working at like a Circuit City type place.
yeah,
And Paul Rudd, it's the first Jason Bourne movie's on in the background, and Paul Rudd goes, "I always thought Matt Damon was a Streisand, but he's really rocking the shit in this one because he's." I thought it was funny. I thought it was funny.
I thought
how about on that? Jeff, what did you think of The Great Wall?
I thought this movie fucking sucked. I fucking hated this movie. I don't give a shit about anyone in it. Any of the stories, anything happening to anyone. I didn't care about anyone dying. I thought all the things they were doing were dumb. The action was cool, but the CG looked so bad that it wasn't. I somehow was so bored with this movie that, like I said earlier, it made me tired for the rest of the day. And even listening to you recap it has also made me bored and tired yet again. This movie is like when you're scrolling on social media and you see an ad for a game and you're like, that's not a real game. That's what this movie reminds me of.
like a mobile ad.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, it's just like I don't think I like a single thing about it.
Like the one with the missing grandma and the lady?
You know what? I liked the intro. I liked before anything happened when it was like kind of alluding to it maybe being a horror movie, and then it just, oh no, there's a million of them, and now it's a weird war movie.
He liked the production studio
yeah.
presents.
If it was one of them, that'd be kind of cool.
It would have been
That
way
would've been
cooler if they were just stuck in the desert and one of them was there, and then maybe the end was, oh, there's also a million of them. The end. They have to fight them all.
Okay.
Oh god. It's like, I don't know. Yeah.
The Great Wall was keeping them in.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know. Anyway, yeah, I would maybe say this is my least favorite movie we've watched so far.
Wow.
Really? Even over the first
Dragon
one?
Ball?
Yeah.
Wow.
I think I like Jupiter Ascending and Tiptoes more than this. Yeah.
Oh my
Tiptoes,
God.
of course.
Tiptoes?
Tiptoes is the best one. but-
That's crazy.
I was so bored with it. I was just so bored. It was so boring.
I did fall asleep, but I also ate a big meal. So
You had a big pasta.
Yeah.
So
I should have ate that fettuccine while
I don't know if we should keep this in, but I ordered Chinese food. Me and Kelly got Chinese food because we watched it together. So I was like, oh, let's get some Chinese food.
Yeah, whatever.
I don't know if that's okay to like. I don't know.
Of course it is. Why is it not?
But I also drink a
hungry,
rice
Jordan.
lager with it. So I don't know.
You're just getting into it.
Told okay, just keeping it real.
Okay, so my feedback on The Great Wall. Like I mentioned, I was kind of into it because I like that twist on history. I was really kind of into it up until Matt Damon slid down that chain. Once that happened, the entire thing took a nosedive for me. Like the entire thing went to crap. I think everything after that, even as the movie went, it was just was downhill. Everything they did after that.
Do you all think if the CGI was better, you'd
No.
give it a thumbs up?
Maybe. But even all the acting and stuff, though, like the story around it, like I didn't care about anyone.
Right.
Like, I could have cared less.
I want to ask you something because brings up a good point. I don't want to drag this out, but that moment for you ruined the movie. Was there a moment for you you two other guys like that just you said like this movie?
I think once they actually got to the Great Wall, honestly, like I was like, what is
Once
even
the wall
happening?
showed up.
Once Matt Damon spoke, I was like, nope.
Yeah.
No, I'm good.
I was too busy, like, is that Pedro Pascal? I think it is. Like, to be worried about how Matt Damon sounded just yet. But yeah.
What about you, Brian? Is there a point where you shut down?
Well, not in this movie, but what made me think of it was when I saw the new Jurassic Park movie, Jurassic World. One of the people running away from a T-Rex was in high heels. I was like,
yeah. She's carrying the flare. She's in the flare thing. Yeah.
And you
can't
see her
run in
running.
high heels?
That she did it in slow motion, you would be annihilated. There is no way. I don't care if a T-Rex. I don't care what kind of situation this is. There is no way you can outrun a T-Rex in high heels.
Oh yeah.
Or I run a T-Rex in general.
Or in general.
She got away.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah, she got away.
Yeah,
I
that's,
never saw
what's her name? That's
That's what's her face.
what's her heels?
The director's kid. That's Ron Howard's kid.
Yeah, she's a good actress. But yeah, that was
She is a good
dumb.
actress, but
I liked
she
her in
took
Black
off the
Mirror.
Yeah, that
shoes.
Black Mirror episode's awesome.
A great episode, yeah.
Never seen
Anyway.
it. Don't even know what you're talking about.
my
Anyway, let's go
God.
around and get the rating.
Yes. Anyway, sorry about that.
Brian, how about you? What do you give the Great Wall?
Man, this is really tough for me
He's gonna
because
do a thumbs up. He's gonna do it.
He's going to do it. He's going to do it.
I know you guys are all gonna thumbs down this, but I have to thumbs up it.
Oh, no.
I have to
Wow.
just because
I can't believe
only
it.
on the sole fact that if somebody wanted to watch this movie again, I probably would watch it, and I didn't hate it. I didn't love it, but it was so ridiculous that I was like, "This is kind of funny," and I enjoyed it for that fact.
That makes sense.
So
Yeah, I
you
don't
go.
think it's a great. Yeah,
it's not
I don't-
good. It's not even a good movie. It's a decent movie, but some of the action sequences are really good. And if you want to hear Matt Damon do a funny accent, watch this film. I mean, that's
Yeah, that alone.
maybe for different intentions. Maybe you should be watching this film for different intentions.
and does it
That's all I'm
change? Does it change throughout the movie? I feel like it does. It's like
saying. It's
like all
stupid
over the
throughout the
place.
movie.
It's stupid, yeah.
One sure thing you can count on: his accent sucks.
maybe if we watch like the dubbed version,
Oh,
like
my
or the
God.
subbed version, the subbed
Oh,
version.
like Matt.
I
Oh,
can't
they
imagine what
dubbed
he
Matt
sounds
Damon.
like.
Yeah, maybe that would be a lot better. I don't know. Jordan, what do you
Interesting.
give the Great Wall?
thumbs down. I also feel bad giving stuff thumbs downs because like like there's people actually worked on this, make a living doing this stuff, but like, nah, this is bad. Whoever did the costume design, I think did a really good job with that. So that's I got to put that
Yeah.
out there. But otherwise, it's not good. No, thumbs down.
Jeff, what about you?
You don't even need me to say anything here.
Well, I got to go on record.
It's the thumbs down. All right.
Okay.
I say all that and I'm like, thumbs up. Could you imagine?
I'm also going to give it a thumbs down if it wasn't obvious. I think in general, as I mentioned, I didn't finish my thought on the feedback, but like right when Matt Damon slid on a chain, everything changed. I think the CGI alone was enough to make me angry at this movie and not. I like the story up until Matt Damon slid down the chain. And then not only that, I forgot to mention this before, but like Lin May, who starts out to be like this total badass like warrior, then kind of does that thing that I hate to do in movies whenever she becomes like this person who's like relying on him.
Didn't that happen in Mortal Engines? Was it the same?
Yes.
Was it great with that one?
I mentioned the same thing. Yeah,
It
same
sure
exact
did.
thing. She's like this who's now in charge of the entire military, like this military order, and she's like relying on Matt Damon to shoot a bow. It's crazy.
Yeah, that is.
Damon.
Like it's so insane.
Team
that they did
America,
that.
what a classic.
Other than that, I mean, the cinematography and stuff are fine. The sound design's fine, but again, once he's on that chain, they start trying to blow him up with grenades, like willy nilly thrown. Just lost it all. It's so dumb.
$150 million for that.
Another
I was
reason to
looking at
watch how you can spend money foolishly.
So I don't really understand the breakdown of this. They said that studios did lose money, but like the Great Wall grossed $45 million in the United States and Canada, but $289 million in all other territories for $334 million gross against the budget of $150. But yet,
They lost money though. Also, is it?
But
Was
yet-
that because of advertising? Maybe.
I don't know because like
Maybe that Super Bowl ad.
Universal lost.
Oh, yeah.
Universal Pictures funded 25% of the film, but lost $10 million somehow. I guess because of how much they all put in individually. I don't know.
Yeah, the film, which received mixed reviews from critics, grossed $334 million.
Yeah.
It was considered a box office bomb for losing up to 75. So it must have cost more than 150 million. I don't know.
Unless it lost 100. Unless it lost 75 just in America. Like
It
box
underperformed
box
in the
office
US.
just in America.
No.
The film's marketing cost over 80 million.
Okay.
So there's another piece to it. Okay, so there are just some things we probably didn't.
The math. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's go talk about what's next. What's the next movie, Brian? You're up next.
Hey, you're up, buddy.
Well, I was debating on what to really make you guys watch next.
Wow. Oh no.
And because of that,
He's like, we're watching The Great Wall again.
It's gonna have.
yeah, we're gonna watch part two.
Sure,
No, we're gonna watch.
some wieners in it probably.
We're gonna watch a favorite of mine because this is like
And it's a lot
no
of dong.
wieners or dongs in this film.
Are you sure?
I'm pretty sure. But this is a good one. This is the 1977 Japanese classic House or House.
Oh wow. Okay.
So
All right. I just watched this
if you
not too
guys are
long
ready
ago.
for the next level, yeah, Jeff already knows what we're getting into here. So
I know
and
exactly what we're getting
I don't think
into.
Chris or Jordan have seen this film, right?
No way in hell do I even know what the hell you're talking about.
So there's a
77?
70s 1977 Japanese movie called House, and there's an 80s US movie called House.
What
This is the 70s.
what genre-
Both are they're great in their own
What
right.
genre you say this is?
Horror comedy,
Okay.
musical.
Musical?
What?
I
A
guess.
little bit.
There's not. It's not much of a musical.
Not
It's,
little. Yeah, it's something.
How
You
long
got
is
yeah.
How long is it?
What's the
Listen,
runtime?
listen here, Great Wall. I don't want to hear it. All right.
This is like hour 20. So
it? So why did you pick this one?
because I was okay. So this movie was in
I've
the
heard about this.
Criterion collection, however you
I
say
think
it.
it's Criterion.
Criterion,
yeah.
but the cover art always caught my eye, and then when I
It's
watched this
sick.
years ago, this film is so unique. We couldn't stop talking about it the next day.
Wasn't the
I
dude,
think-
dude's daughter
Yeah.
have something with the making of this?
Yeah, I was just gonna
Is
bring
what it
that
was?
up. They had her write some of the parts because
That's awesome.
they were trying to have it be scary to like a
For
kid.
kids.
Like, what
Yeah.
would be scary to a kid?
And this
I
guy
remember
was
hearing
a
about this,
commercial. He directed commercials for Japanese television in the 70s. This is his first film. I think this may be his only film he ever made. So it's something. So anyway, 1977 House. We're gonna watch it. It's something.
That's a pick. That's a good pick right there. I'm excited to rewatch this again.
Well, Jordan, you've never seen it?
No, Chris.
I have the
Chris
soundtrack
already
too
sounds
on
exhausted and annoyed by
I'm
this.
so tired of it. I'm tired. I'm like Jeff. So
I
tired.
cannot wait to see what people you guys have to say about this.
I don't know if Chris will like it, but I don't think
I don't care if he likes it or not. I just want to see what he has to say about it.
I don't. Yeah.
No, that's it. I don't care.
I don't think anyone will be bored watching this one. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah, it's something.
Okay. All right. Well, that was a 1 out of 4 here for the Great Wall.
You know what? We have a season so far with no goose eggs. So far, at least one person has liked every movie.
Mortal Engines?
I liked it.
Oh, okay.
Ugh.
I liked it way more than the Great Wall.
Okay. I thought, okay.
Have you got the horses ready yet, sir?
All right. So next movie is House, the 1977 Japanese film House.
Yes.
If you want to help us out, please leave a comment on your podcast platform of choice. Please tell your friends, tell anybody, tell your enemies, tell your family about us. Listen to the Watch Pals. Please
tell your enemies
on social media.
Tell your enemies to watch The Great Wall. Do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that too.
Please connect with us on social media. All those links can be found in the show notes below. If you have any questions or suggestions for a future movie, please send us an email at watchpals.show@gmail.com. All those links and more can be found on watchpals.show. That's the website. We also can join our Discord there at watchpals.show, and you can suggest movies and chat with us on our Discord. We would like to thank Ben Miller for his art. Please, for his logo art, please go find more of his art on his Instagram, which can be found in the show notes. I want to thank Jordan for being here.
Oh yeah, thank you.
I want to thank Jeff for being here.
Hey, thank you.
And I want to thank Brian for being here.
Thank you very much. This was a very stimulating conversation.
Thank all of you out there in Watchland. Until next time, please set your watches for the next episode of the Watch Pals. Good night.
Jesus.
Brian is stimulated.
I just stimulated.
I just stimulated.